How's it going, guys? Today we're going to be working on the brick nose. Shelby and I have a trip to the Rubicon coming up in July, so I gotta get this thing ready to go. It has a fuel leak on the back end. I think it's a return line, so we're going to pull the bed, check that out. I also need to get a new rear bumper made, something that has some nice reverse lights in it, a little heavier duty than the stock one. And then I also have some toe points I'm going to be welding into the front bumper here. So I'm going to go ahead. All I have to go off right now is some wetness on the bottom of the tank. So it'll be easiest for me just to pull the bed and then see what we can find. So first order of business is going to be welding these recovery points on the front. I'm going to try to put them over as far as possible to the side to get to this brace. And probably, I don't know if I want to go up or down with it. Probably down with it a bit, get it in plane with the winch. But I have two of these, so we're going to weld them on. Alright, so I got my points tacked on there. These are just 20,000 pounds weld on recovery mounts or strap down mounts, whatever you want to call them. So I got them tacked on the same spot. I think it looks good there. I basically put them as close to my frame bracket as possible, so it's pulling more on the frame rather than on the plate. My winch is on this bottom plate, which is braced in pretty good, so I'm not too worried about the winch one. But if I'm yanking on it or doing anything, I like it as close to the frame as possible. So now we're going to go ahead and burn those in. Alright, so I went ahead and got these recovery points welded in. Made sure to weld all my corners, because that's where your welds always crack. Look pretty good, top and bottom. So if we have any issues with these, I don't see any reason. I got good penetration if you look back there. So these should hold until the whole frame rips apart. But if for some reason they rip off, we'll just weld them back on. So you can see the drips down there from the tank. I think I can pull the straps off it. There's just 4 nuts. Hopefully the nuts or the bolts on those nuts are stuck into the frame, so I don't have to get the tops of them. If that is the case, then I can just drop the tank out the bottom, but we're going to try that first, and if it doesn't work, then we're going to have to pull the bed. So I got the straps pulled off, and we have a hole in the fuel tank right there. It was being plugged by rust and that strap. So I threw a 5-gallon bucket underneath it just to catch what's in there, because I believe this is a full tank, which kind of sucks. Okay, that was probably the worst thing I've done in a long time, but I got the tank out, drained it, made a huge mess, got the truck pulled out. I'm gonna end up just pulling the bed, make it easier to install a bigger tank, and then we're gonna decide what we're gonna do about a tank. If we're gonna do a Bronco tank, if we're gonna delete the front saddle tank, I don't know. We will see, but you guys will see sooner than I will. So I'm gonna start cutting all this pitting out of my tanks. As you can see, the side's a little worse than the other, but what I'm gonna be looking for is some good metal to weld to. So I gotta make sure I cut all the pitting out and get some good metal like that, so my welding actually works. So as you can see, I cut all that pitting out, so now I have some good metal all around for my welding. Went ahead and cleaned it up pretty good. Now I'm going to go ahead and get started on welding it. So I went ahead and got the rear fuel tank put back in. I siphoned most of the gas out of this front tank and put into a gas can to put back in the rear tank. And so far I don't see any leaks from where I repaired it. So that is good. I also took the bed off, as you can see. It's gonna make it easier when removing this front tank. We are getting rid of this tank just because it sits so far below the frame rail. This rear tank actually sits up inside the frame rail, so I can just build a skid plate across the back. But 18 gallons is plenty of fuel for the trips we go on, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove that tank. And then these lines are all teed in up here, so I'm just gonna plug them off so we don't have a weird loss of pressure and then the truck won't run. The way these dual tank setups work is they require pressure, so if you just unplug this line and call it good, you're gonna be shooting fuel out of there and you're not gonna go anywhere. So you gotta make sure, that must have been high pressure line. You gotta make sure that you are actually plugging them. So I'm gonna go ahead, get all that stuff removed and get this tank dropped out. Alright, so I got the front tank pulled out. It was just one bolt there, and that held the strap in on each side. Took those out, the whole thing fell out. Went ahead and got my lines cut off for both the fuel line and the return line. I also I pulled the vent line off right here so I can cap it. I'm gonna leave the sending unit line on, or the wiring. I'm just gonna wrap it up, zip tie it, and probably tuck it in this cross member here, in case down the road if I want to put the tank back in, or my kid or someone wants to return the truck back to stock, they'll still have that wiring. But as you can see, we are set. Can you see it? We are set to the rear tank right now. If I switch to front, it just kind of goes wild because there's no sending unit there. But we're on the rear tank, which is very full because it only has 5 gallons in it, or sorry, very empty. It only has 5 gallons in it right now. But if I start her up, she runs. We don't have any leaks from our lines, so that's good. Nothing on our fuel tank is leaking. That is good. So that's cool. It is working with just the one tank now, no issues. I do know my exhaust is very ratty. This thing has been, I cut it off right there in high school. Some terrible muffler shop put it all back together. It ended up rusting out. I gotta go ahead. I recently did an emissions delete, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut off the cat right here after the O2 sensor and then rebuild a full exhaust system, but that'll be a different video. So there's our fuel tank stuff all complete, and we got those front tone points welded on, which look very good. I've already been using them to pull the truck from the side of the shop, both back there and bringing it back up front, so they work good. Really stoked about that. That'll probably be all for this video. The next video is just going to be me building a rear bumper, probably doing that exhaust work. I've had the flu for about a week, as you can definitely tell from my voice, so I don't have a lot of energy, and I would like to, get videos out to you guys every week. So I'm just gonna cut this one here and get you guys out a video for Sunday, and then hopefully I'll feel better next week where I can get some work done on that rear bumper and the exhaust. So thank you guys much for watching this one, and we'll catch you on the next one.